Hello and welcome to Woke Watch. And I begin today with a question. When did wokeness become a thing? Not the term itself, the woke attitude. Because being a fucking idiot and dressing up as political correctness, that's gone on for decades, but it was always countered by common sense. So when did logic and reason get overshadowed lest we offend people who are actually pretending to be offended by fucking everything? I think the best bet would be 2016, the year that gave us Triggerlypuff and this unattractive woman screaming in the street. Because that year events took place on both sides of the Atlantic. In the UK, we voted to leave the European Union, and in the USA, Donald Trump was elected as president. Now, I'm not pro-Brexit, and in no way am I a fan of moral dump. But I do respect democracy, and when people are given a choice, and more people vote for one thing than the other, that's how democracy works. But in 2016, something changed. This woke attitude started to gain traction, meaning that when a democratic vote had taken place, if the overly sensitive people didn't like the result, they could either go on Twitter and rant from a perceived moral high ground, or many of them could gather together for a protest where every single individual could have a meltdown and throw a tantrum like a fucking toddler. Because it's worth remembering, most woke people are adults who should have been hit more as children. And I remember seeing hordes of Americans chanting, Donald Trump is not my president, and thinking, well, he fucking is, isn't he? But it's the story that began in 2016, which has just been resolved, that is the focus of today's Woke Watch. Back in 2016, 3 students from Oberlin College, an independent arts college, so you know it's going to be full of wankers, just outside Cleveland, decided to pay a visit to Gibson's Bakery, a family-run business that's been in the area for well over a century. One of the students attempted to buy a bottle of wine, but the cashier, who happens to be the son of the owner, noticed that the student was using fake ID. He also suspected that all 3 students had been shoplifting. So he confronted one of them, whereupon he was violently assaulted and the student made a run for it. Nonetheless, the cashier gave chase. He soon caught the student, wrestled with him and pinned him to the ground until the police arrived. And when the police got there, they arrested all 3 of the students and charged them with multiple offences, which to their credit they did own up to. So you may be wondering, well, what's woke about this story? Well, the Gibson family are white and all 3 of the students are black. Let the wokeness commence. So, despite the students pleading guilty to all charges, the college decided that they were victims of racial profiling, alleging that Gibson's Bakery has a long history of racism, saying that with no facts to back it up whatsoever. And they said the only reason the cashier was picking on those students was because of their ethnicity, not because of the crimes that they fucking admitted to. Protests were held outside the store, attended not just by students, but by fucking teachers from the college as well. A catering contract with the college was withdrawn, and the smear campaign meant that Gibson's Bakery lost revenue, customers, and was vandalised multiple times. All because some woke fucking morons decided to run with the white man bad narrative. So scroll forward to 2022, and just a few days ago, 3 judges from the Court of Appeal ruled unanimously in favour of Gibson's Bakery, saying that there was no proof of racial profiling, racism, or whatever istonisms the college were trying to push on it. So the college has been ordered to pay fines of $31 million. That's $25 million to the Gibson family and $6 million in legal fees. And it's a wonderful story because it marks a victory for common sense over wokeness. And it may be that the tide is beginning to turn. The only sad thing is that the students who took part in the 2016 protests, they won't suffer due to this ruling, because they've moved on, doubtlessly into low-paid jobs where they'll be blaming historic this and institutional that for their lack of career progression. Because part of being woke is blaming your own shortcomings on everyone else. Some of them will also have their own children by now, which doubtlessly they're raising genderless with the pronouns ze/them. But it's not the first time this reverse wokeness has taken place. Just a few months ago, another American college, punished 2 female African American students after they were caught on camera demanding that 2 white male students leave the multicultural area because they're white. Almost as if that they didn't understand what multicultural means. Now, being a white guy, I'm aware that anything I say can be misconstrued or spun. So just to make it clear, the races of the people in both of those stories are irrelevant. What is relevant is the acknowledgement of bigotry, because if we take the cashier at Gibson's Bakery, it sounds like the college was saying because he's white, he must be racist, which in itself is a pretty racist statement. In fact, isn't that racial profiling the exact fucking thing they were accusing him of? As ever, hypocrisy is a big part of woke culture. And of course, no one should be judged on their sex, their race, or their sexuality, because these are things we don't get to fucking pick. And I don't think that most woke people are as offended as they make out. I don't believe that everyone that went to the protests outside Gibson's Bakery believed that the cashier was actually racist, in the same way that I don't believe that the crazy trans activists think that J.K. Rowling is really that transphobic. But she is successful, and Gibson's Bakery is a successful business. So the woke fucktards are just jealous. But rather than trying to better themselves, these lazy woke bastards would prefer to just drag everyone else down to their level. If they can't succeed, then no one should. But at what cost? Well, for one college in America, it's $31 million. As ever, thanks for watching. Hello and welcome to a fucking windy woke watch. College in Cleveland. I want to say Ohio, but I'm not sure. And I can't get a signal here to Google it. Independent Arts College. So if you get a degree from there, be ready to work in a bowling alley. So what can we... Oh, fucking bollocks. So despite pleading guilty to all charges, the college did a fucking wank. There's nowhere out of the fucking wind today. There's loads of kestrels out today. Sorry, I know you weren't expecting fucking country file. What can we tell from... Fucking hell.